Woodville is, of course, a small residential town. It's located in the southwest corner of Jackson County, so we're a small town, less than 1,000 people. If you like rural settings, outdoor type stuff, but still a quiet neighborhood, Woodville's a good place to be. I'm Steve Helms, the mayor of Woodville. Well, basically, we got into energy savings as kind of a have-to. We were doing some refurbishing work and all that sort of stuff on the Woodville's sewer treatment plant.
The town of Woodville received a state energy program grant in 2013 and from the energy division of ADECA. And it was written to retrofit the wastewater treatment plant.
This is one of ADECA's first grants for waste treatment plants, and what we basically did, we received about $10,000. And what we did is we had to get the North Alabama Electric Co-op to run three-phase power down to the plant, which everybody thought we couldn't get done, but lo and behold, if you ask them, they did it. So that's why they've been very helpful. We replaced all the motors, and we also installed drives and digital timers on everything so we can control exactly how much power we need to each motor when we need it, and we have it on a timer so we know precisely when to turn off and turn on. Well, my name is Steve Harnden. I am a full-time employee at the paper mill in Stevenson, Alabama, which is now currently West Rock. As a hobby, I've got into the wastewater industry. And about 10 years ago, the mayor of Woodville, Fay Cook, called up and said, hey, I need a certified wastewater operator. And I've been here ever since.
So basically what we were able to do was apply for this grant, get variable speed drives and digital timers and all that sort of stuff that allowed us to more efficient and precisely control the plant. We right off the bat were able to see that, that saves us money.
Each of the SEP grant subrecipients are trained and provided technical assistance and an Energy Star portfolio manager. The
portfolio manager is just a huge database. Yeah. You've got to enter the square footage of a building, you have to enter the age of the building, the electrical sources, if you have gas, if you have water. After the completion of entering this data, it will give you a rating, and it will determine for you if that building is energy efficient or not. Oh, it's great because it has a lot of graphs, and you can actually see your performance, how you're going along, and you can compare it to last year and the year before that. In 2013, their wastewater treatment plant operator, Mr. Steve Harden, had the data. Energy Star portfolio manager had shared it with me, and we were looking to see what their goals could be and what their plan. And they implemented a plan, and it wasn't but a couple weeks later, the 2013 National Building Competition occurred, and I asked him if he'd like to enter it, and he jumped on board and said yes. It basically was identifying 5 buildings that we thought would have a chance of being able to learn what energy we're consuming and then figure out, okay, where are the places where we can save it. So the first year we entered as going blue for Woodville, we had 5 buildings, and this chapel was one of them. Town Hall, the waste treatment plant, the Bob Jones Community Center, and our little co-op building. Those were our 5 buildings for our team. And so we worked hard to get them all signed up and all ready to go. The first year we entered as a team, and we were the #1 building with a chapel. We had the overall team winning, so we were the #1 team. With those 5 buildings all combined together, they gave you a total energy reduction, and we won as a team, we won as a chapel. And I would have never dreamed that we would have been able to compete on a state level, much less a national level. I was excited for them. I'm still excited for them because that is a national recognition, and it's very difficult to achieve. And it wasn't something that happened just cause. It was something that they worked for, they wanted. The championship, for the first year, that absolutely amazed me. And then when Steve told me that, hey, it looks pretty good for the second year, and I thought, you got to be kidding me. He says, no, the numbers we've collected and everything shows that we're doing very well. The second year, we continued. The big thing to me is can you sustain your gain? And we just continued on to the next year, and we continued with the reductions.
We thought we might have a chance because from what we learned the first time, we actually refined some of those procedures, and that was able to actually save us more energy.
The chapel was the top building 2 years in a row.
The second year of winning was basically a refinement of a lot of stuff we learned the first year.
You just want to see success for a small town. To me, there's thousands and thousands of small towns. If all of them could do what Woodville did, could you imagine how much energy we can reduce? Yes, you can work on shopping centers and you can work on large buildings, but think of all the little towns out there.
Well, I can tell you for a fact, over the last couple of years, we have cut energy consumption to the point where that we have saved around $3,000. And that don't sound like a lot of money, but when you look at town our size, and we're talking about patching potholes, well, a load of coal mix is about $900. So you can see $3,000 will patch a lot of potholes.
A lot of people don't even think about their energy bill, and you ask people in these towns, they don't think about their electrical budget, but it's huge. If you think about what they spend, it's a huge amount of dollars, and if you can cut into that, then it really helps that town do other things. The mayor jokes about fixing potholes, but honestly, that's what they can do with that extra money. We've tried to address every piece of the electrical pie here, whether it's the waste treatment plant, the buildings, or the street lights, and we've taken a big chunk off each of those pieces of the pie.
Small towns are struggling.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're struggling.
Yeah.
And it's everyone is kind of struggling. But when they can save what to some might seem like a small amount of money, it's actually not a small amount of money to that town. My name's Bruce Purdy. I'm the GM of North Alabama Electric Cooperative, located in Stevenson, Alabama. North Alabama Electric Co-op was established approximately 76 years ago. We provide electric, utility. We provide fiber services, which include video, voice, and data.
We had inquired for years about getting three-phase power run to the wastewater treatment plant. And there was all kinds of hang-ups and this, that, and the other about it. And then we actually talked to some members on the board, and then they met with Mr. Bruce Purdy, and next thing you knew, they ran it down there for us. So that was like step 8 to make all this other stuff happen.
When we thought, it would cost thousands of dollars to get three-phase power down there, we couldn't do the waste treatment plant. They did it for nothing. Therefore, we could do that project ADECA gave us.
And they have also provided us advice on lights, different type fixtures, what the energy ratings and all that sort of stuff are. Like I said, they're in the business of sell electricity, but they're in the business of conserving it also.
The biggest portion of our involvement was in the LED street lighting, because you have to replace your existing street lighting with the new LEDs, and it was really a matter of cooperation in trying to help the town of Woodville and doing what we could to help them make it feasible to accomplish this.
We looked at the town's bills, which is the biggest drivers, and energy was part of them, and street lights is part of them. And that's just somehow we've got into this LED lights. We found out that you can actually purchase a bulb that only uses about 1/4 of the energy, but actually produces more light. So we've looked around and decided, okay, we can take some down, spread some out, move some around, and actually have more light and less cost.
And right now, as of last week, every street light in the town of Woodville is now LED.
We really didn't have the money to do the things that we knew needed to be done. But with those grants, you basically can put forth a little bit of money and then get more with that, and next thing you know, over a period of a couple of 3 years, you've done quite a bit of stuff, things that we couldn't have done on our own. But if it hadn't been for ADECA and the program they have and their personal commitment to get us to participate, even apply and try, none of this would have happened. If it hadn't been for the partnership, it wouldn't have happened.
If, a small town, you always say a small town, rural Alabama, if they can do this, anyone can.
It's not hard to do. I mean, the technology's out there. You can go on the internet and find anything you want about how to save money. LED lights are becoming more and more affordable. Programmable thermostats are easy to install. Hot water heaters, you can get instant on hot water heaters, all kinds of ways. But mainly it's the mindset, knowing that you've got to save it.
Believe it or not, even in a small town, patching potholes is a big deal.